Today's a video that was not gonna be a video, guys. This is a commission where we're gonna make a high school gym, but turn it into a game. So I've been working on this commission, and at first I was just gonna knock it out real quick, but something happened, and I do think it is worth a video. Guys, if you're trying to commission a builder, this has never happened to me before, but this is great. Check it out. The person commissioning me sent me like a perfect example of what they want. Now, this is put together with what I assume is all free models. This looks like it's probably from Please Donate. And all of this stuff looks like free models. However, my hardest thing when it comes to building a map is actually the layout of the map and then what size the map should be. They want it this size and told me everything they want included. A chocolate milk fridge. We have portals, leaderboards, eggs, podiums, a pet codex thing, bosses, player battles, squats, bench press, and all of that is so nice because now that I know how they want it to look, how much room it should take up, and everything they want on the map, I can one-trip it to Blender. Check it out. We've got some leaderboards right here, an egg podium right here that I can edit in studio. I made this little thing for bosses to stand on. This is what I'm gonna use for the Pokedex thing that they're talking about. Here's the portal, which I may make wavy. I still haven't decided yet. Here is an arm wrestling stand, a squat rack, a bench press, and the chocolate milk fridge, and of course, the chocolate milk. So we're gonna get all of this into studio, and they want all of it to be built inside of a school gym aesthetic build. No simulator borders today, guys. So hopping into studio, I copy and pasted their ground and called it gym floor. And right here, the size is kind of just whack. So I am gonna adjust this. We're gonna do a 175 by 175. A perfect square. That's gonna make everything line up better for us later. The next thing I want to do is make this sort of like a 10-ish floor. I'm going to make it look like a basketball court, I think. Now, we're going to go ahead and build some walls. I do need one dummy, so let me grab one from over here. And I think I want to do like a two-tone wall. So on the bottom, have a nice red and then go up again and maybe have like a white. Gyms definitely have high ceilings, so I don't mind building quite high on this one. Color-wise, I'm thinking something like this. Now we'll get those walls on every side. I have been trying to do like the room builds before putting the assets in. This does help me make things less flat, and it makes it rely less on the assets to make it look good, so the assets sort of turn into icing on the cake, if you will. Now, for the ceiling, we're gonna have to do some sort of like raptor build. I don't know exactly how we're gonna do that one yet. I'm also gonna turn off cast shadows on all of this stuff, just so it stays real nice and bright in here. I need to find a wood texture for the ground, and then just add in some random parts. I think I'll build some scaffolding. That's probably not what it's called. The little things across the ceiling to make it have some nice detail. All right, guys, so I got kind of something going, and here is what I have for the ceiling. Nothing too crazy, but definitely something that looks pretty good. The next thing I wanted to do, I think I'm actually gonna delete the red. It looks good, but I want to do like those pads on the gym walls, not just a trim thing. Oh, maybe we should keep the trim and then add those too. All right, bros, I got it. We are gonna do a very low-key trim, and I think instead of red, we're gonna go like a grayish white, something a little bit darker than the wall, like that. And now let's go bevel a cube in Blender, just so we can use it as like a copy and pasted pad on the wall. I also want to do some sort of, like, I don't want this to be all flat, so I want to try to make bleachers that some of the bosses stand on. So we have a leaderboard section, which I guess we'll put that in right now. I think I'm going to do them on the side here. And let's do like a bronze, silver, gold, something like this. Shrink bronze down a little bit, gold up a little bit, and then just add a little bit of a rotation on them so it looks pretty nice, and those can be pretty big. Oh yeah, that's looking pretty decent. Now I do want this to feel a bit special, so we are going to raise them up a bit. We do have a dummy as well, and I say we'll just toss them on a cylinder. I think something like this is looking pretty decent. However, we're going to take the top one and make it sort of a gray. Maybe not, maybe a lighter red. All right, we're taking the bottom one and making it a gray. I think that works. Now let me go make that beveled cube so we can get some pads on the walls. All right, I got the wall mats placed as well as like some bleacher type things Now we have to figure out how we're gonna fill all of this up. I think it makes sense to have the leaderboard on the exact opposite side as the... Did I say the leaderboard? I meant the portal on the exact opposite side of the leaderboards. I think it just makes sense, as well as making sure it's pretty centered, nice. And what we're gonna do is do the exact same thing, copy the little pedestal thing over here, and put it under the portal. That's gonna give a little bit of a symmetry in a build that isn't exactly symmetrical. And we have plenty of other stuff we need to fit in here somewhere. For example, maybe we take these bleachers out and we can put the eggs. I haven't modeled eggs yet, but we have the temporary ones at the very least, and we definitely need to size those up a little bit. I'd say something like that works. Maybe we could take up the corner with them? I'm not exactly sure. Maybe something like this, and we can double up one of these, and instead of it being a wall mat, it could be a mat on the floor. All right, that's not too bad. I am gonna stretch it into the floor a little bit, just so it looks a little nicer. These eggs are also temporary, so we'll leave those for now. The next thing that we need is pedestals to buy pets and items. Now, they said the same thing as the eggs, just using weights, but instead have them a little bit more special. And since all of this stuff is going to be Robux, I decided to make them green and golds, and then there's a little sparkle particle on them as well as a point light inside each thing. I'm going to make the gold one a little bit bigger in the middle, and then have these two on the sides. Not exactly sure what's going to be on these, as they didn't tell me, they just said they need them. I think it'd be smart to put them right here next to the portal and next to the eggs that people are already buying. We'll scale those down just a little bit, and maybe we should make them feel a bit more important. So this, we will use a blue, and then the Robux ones, we can use the red. Hopefully that makes them feel just a little bit more premium. I have been trying to figure out just ways to make things look more expensive, right? Like, make people be like, yo, I need to buy that. Something like that works for now. Up next, we need the boss area. Now let's just space these out because right now they are very close together. Now with the bosses added in, the leaderboards added in, the eggs and the Robux pedestals and the teleporter, which I will be building 2 more gyms for these guys, but I don't know if I'll make those videos or not just yet. We need our Pokedex thing, which I made this weird machine right here. I just typed in gym electronic and this kind of a thing popped up. Put my own little spin on it, and here we are. I also don't like the blue next to the blue. Let's try to make this like a purple. There we go. That definitely sticks out on the map. Now we have the chocolate milk machine. Let's group that together. I think it'll look better in the long run to just have both the machines over here. It makes sense. We'll keep the eggs right next to this portal. The Robux stuff I'm gonna put on the court because we don't actually need basketball hoops or anything like that. We just need like a cool map that's a school gym theme, and I think we're doing pretty decent. Not bad. It is coming along, but it is looking pretty flat. So I am gonna have to try to figure something out there as well. But then again, a gym is flat. That's literally a gym. We're gonna figure it out though. You wanna verse another player, go to the middle of the map. And they had 2 of those in the little reference they sent me. So we can run it just like that. And all that's left is the squat rack and the bench press. So where are we gonna put these things? Also, these eggs, we can kind of center them over here. Maybe add a little bit of a turn to them. And then I think a shortened set of these over here just to take up some space. I wonder if I can make it like the bosses, but with eggs. Now it looks like they wanted, let's see, 4 squat racks, and I'm assuming we would match it, right? 4 bench presses? It wouldn't make sense if there was only 2 of those. Scale these up to be slightly oversized, and then we can get to placing. Here is the 4 squat racks. Let's center those back here. We're also probably going to change them from black because, well, it's just not that simulatory or that fun. And then the bench press. All right, I'm going to do something. I'm going to delete these. This can go over here. So all the egg type purchases are on that half of the map. I think that makes sense. And then we could do all of the workout equipment is on the exact opposite sides of the map. So we can grab these, take them over here, and then we have a workout zone on both sides of the map. Not too bad. We have no more assets, so everything is in here. Let's put the ceiling back on, and let's see how this place is looking. Okay, it's not the worst. We definitely have some more stuff we could do. I am gonna play around with lighting for a minute and see if we can make something happen here, because this lighting is not cutting it. We're also gonna need to hang some lights in here. It is a gym. All right, guys, I think I just thought of the extra sauce. I am gonna add in these rings around anything I think would look good with them, and anything that doesn't look good with one of these little glowing beam rings around it, I'm gonna add in text. We got player battles right here in the center. Over here we have eggs. I think I'm gonna change that from red to maybe a blue. Up next we have, I'm gonna just call this premium items. Really not sure what they're gonna call it in game. And let's go ahead and make that like a nice gold type of thing. Over here you already know these are the bosses. And I think we gotta go back to red for that. All right, so I sent them what I had so far, and they basically said, hey bro, that's crazy, that's too big. So we've shrunk everything down to fit into a bit smaller of a space, and I also added a bunch of color onto everything. And now on all of the VIP stuff, I'm gonna add a little sparkle, a little glimmer of hope, just to make it that much better. They also said they wanted brick walls, and then they want pillars on the walls, which once again is just like, okay, they do seem like they want me to very much heavily inspired by the current arm wrestling games that are out right now, instead of make something fully unique. So I'm having a bit of trouble putting my own creative spin on it. But hey, as long as they're happy, I'm happy, I guess. All right, so far so good. I've added in some weights. I got the wall sort of figured out. They still want a brick material on the wall, so I will need to find a nice brick texture, and then maybe adding in some pillars. Another thing that I just noticed is my font selection absolutely horrible for like a cutesy simulator game. So we're gonna switch this to the one and only Ferdoka? I don't know, but this one, way better of a font choice, and once we do that for all of them, it'll just look a lot more friendly of a game. All right, they also do not want the cool hovering text. They want wooden signs, just like the other game. I'm trying to separate this a little bit, but it's not my game at the end of the day, so just do what they ask. All right, looks like we end up with something that myself and the person commissioning me are happy with. We decided to scrap the teleporter because it just didn't really fit. And we added in some gym doors. I think they look a lot better than the teleporter did. We kept some floating texts and some texts like the other game. We got some cool leaderboards, added some more weights around the map just to kind of fill up some extra space. And that is map number 1. I will have 2 more gyms to build for these guys. Once again, not sure if those will be videos or not, but let's wrap this one up with a couple questions. Question number 1, what would you do if you'll need a manufacturer's license for your dream game? I'm assuming you're saying, hey bro, if you have a Honda Grom in the game, you're gonna need a license. That might be true, but not if you have a Ronda Yam. Yes, guys, I plan on changing a couple letters or changing the name of the bikes. They will use the brand's likeness, but not the actual brand name or brand logos. So I'm hoping I don't get sued. Question number 2, you should make a Trello for the dream game that all the people can see what needs going on, or what needs doing, things that are coming to the game, and so on. I think this is an actual fantastic idea. The only bad side of that is I don't want to give away every single portion of the gameplay, because then a more talented team, maybe a better builder or a better scripter, or just a better team in general, has a full Trello to make a full game, and it just doesn't seem like, it doesn't seem like the best idea. For that reason only. Our last question for today, will you make multiple maps where you can access them through the highway, but instead of building multiple islands, just make separate games, kind of like Ultimate Driving does? Maybe later on, if the game becomes insanely popular, but for now, the whole idea of it is based in Chicago, and I want to stay there for a little while. These maps also take a long time to do, so I'm not really in a rush to build a bunch more of them.